on the physiology and social structure of the swarm. Based on what we have collected about the Lohr species from the sections of the specimen's memory that have so far been decoded, and this is truly remarkable if you don't mind me saying so, they may be better classed as a sort of psionic meta-organism than as a species. Due to their psionic links to the brood arcs, viziers, and ultimately the brood mind itself, they act with a single will and ego. Individual drones seem to carry no sense of identity whatsoever. We theorize that those cut off from the neural network would be unable to even tend to their own biological needs on a more than short-term basis, which may have played a role in their extinction. Unfortunately, we have no living specimens on which to test this. Just as a body has organs, it seems that the Lohr birthed several castes of varying physiology and ability to handle different tasks. What follows is a classification of these and their functionality. We are continuing to piece together the historical portion of the memory core, and you can expect more on that in my next briefing.
Our most basic instruments are the harvesters. They locate, subdue, and process the biomatter that feeds the swarm. Beginning quite small, harvesters can grow to nearly the size of a brood arc as their nutrient stores fill with the life-giving gel they manufacture when we strip new worlds of non-essential life. They regurgitate a highly caustic mucus, capable of breaking down nearly any known organic tissue, using their powerful mandibles and forelegs to trap prey and break apart any biomass that requires sectionalization prior to processing. Though they are not optimized for combat, they are quite capable of being deployed in a defensive capacity when needed. Workers are one of the most common castes. Adaptable, versatile, and strong, they run the facilities that provide power to our machines and exoships, harvest inorganic resources from above and below ground, and construct facilities and conveyances for our use. Like the harvesters, they can be deadly if presented a situation of hive-world incursion. So great is the fear inspired by even such lowly members of the swarm, that lesser races in previous cycles have interpreted the arrival of worker caste clutches on colonization targets as the opening wave of a military invasion. Guardians are protectors of the hive. They are the largest and most powerful of the common castes, though their incredibly dense and nearly impenetrable carapaces cause them to be too massive and sluggish to serve as an ideal vanguard in times of violent expansion. They carry a volume of the same acidic discharge that allows harvesters to process organic material, but in a muscular sac that allows it to be ejected over great distance and at great speed as an additional form of weaponry. Warriors are the most deadly product of our long hibernation. A new caste purpose-built for seizing worlds where military force is required and neutralizing all who would oppose us. They are strong, swift, and though not as durable as the Guardians, they are much more capable of maintaining the initiative in relentless ground campaigns we will soon wage against our enemies. They can react with unparalleled swiftness, leap several meters vertically or horizontally to close the distance with a foe, and their limbs are capable of ripping open ally-built combat vehicles, or even light exoship hulls. Brood arcs are the hub for our neural networks on each hive planet, as well as representing the largest and most lethal components of the swarm. They are responsible for relaying instructions that originate with the brood mind on Hive Prime to all drones of all castes on the world where they reign. Only one out of many billions of drones will ever be uplifted to become a brood arc. This makes them a highly finite resource, and so our careful gene recombination ensures that they are the pinnacle of our evolution, lest they would become a vulnerability. A variant of the brood arc, the extermin arc, leads our offensive clutches to invade a new world. Smaller but faster and more aggressive, The experiment ark will metamorphose into a standard brood ark after all hostiles on a world have been exterminated. Viziers are somewhat greater in number than the brood arks, housed on capital ships and in orbital stations, where they form a relay network for our consciousness that can transmit commands between stars separated by light years almost instantaneously. Their psionic link to the brood mind and each other is strong, and the death of a Vizier will send intense feedback through the neural network to prompt a swift, defensive response. Planet-bound brood arks can function semi-autonomously for a short time if cut off from their local Vizier, using recollection of the most recent pattern of orders from the brood mind. Operating in this fashion for extended periods is inadvisable, however, and may lead to disobedience of a hive from the greater swarm. Navigators are responsible for piloting our exoships, manipulating several control interfaces at once using their versatile limbs. Their psionic link with the Viziers and a natural awareness of the hyperlane networks allows them to quickly and safely plot FTL jumps that would require most species to use extensive, cumbersome software and machinery. Our navigators can receive sensor data directly through subspace and process it unaided for use in both exploratory and military tasks. As time passed after our reawakening, we began to develop new castes to serve unforeseen roles, or replace those who had become obsolete due to the discovery of new gene sequences. Yet these 7 remained the core variants responsible for most common operations. Through their specialized and fine-tuned abilities, we would make all races tremble in the shadow of the swarm.